Hey guys, welcome back. We are back with another speed build. I'm back with another speed build. Today we are renovating. We are renovating the Streamlet single lot in Willow Creek. This is one of the starter homes in Willow Creek, and so instead of doing a brand new build, we're actually renovating this house. It's a house I was playing with a family in, and they are about to have a baby, so I decided it'd be a fun time to do a renovation. I actually took a lot of inspiration for this lot from a Fixer Upper episode where they renovated a shotgun house in Waco, Texas. And a lot of the architecture inspiration that the Sims team used for Willow Creek comes from New Orleans, where shotgun houses are really common. This house isn't technically a shotgun house because shotgun houses have like a room and then another room and another room, but because it's so small and narrow, I felt like it lent itself to this style. And so we're adding a second floor. The end result does end up it's still technically one bedroom and one bath, but we're gonna add a loft area up in the second floor, which means that we get that space could be a second bedroom. Like obviously it would be open, so it's not like the most private bedroom, but I feel like if you had a setup where you had like kids on the first floor and just your family bedroom up there, you could also close it off. Because this is kind of like second level starter home, I was working with the budget, I was working with the family's budget. I was actually trying to stay even below that because I also want them to own a bakery eventually, which I'm sure you'll see. So you'll see here that I had actually already remodeled a bit inside, which meant that when I went to take the before photos, because I had to go back and load up a new world to take the before photos, I was shocked to remember how bad. Like this is an easy renovation. You change almost anything. Like there's that trim that's missing in the front of the porch. Like why? Why does the trim not go across the stairs? Who builds trim like that? I don't know if that got lost in an update or what, but like there's these really ugly shutter windows that go straight into the corners. It's weird. But when I went to load it up for the before photos, I was just shocked to realize how ugly the inside of this house is. Like it just seems like it's meant to be like horrifyingly dingy. Like, you know, I remember when I went and looked at my first apartments and we looked at one that was just like gross. And that was the impression I had when I went to take the before photos here. So it's not hard to fix it up, but I wanted to actually make it something that was very cute, but still affordable, still something you could afford within your family gameplay. I went really dark at first to see that I used like this dark blue, and I liked it, but I didn't like how it looked from the world screen, and I didn't like how it blended in. Like the neighborhood here is so pastel-y, like it felt like too much contrast from the other houses. So like I had these dark doors. I kind of like that modern, you know how like there's the modern trend of having really dark paint colors. And I really wanted to go with that. I wanted that high contrast look, but it just felt too high contrast from the neighborhood. So in the end, we're gonna tone it back, but this is where we started. I added these cute little flower boxes. I centered the entry. The entry was off center. In the original house, we kind of widened these stairs, brought them up just a hair, just brought them out a hair to give them a little more definition, just made a bigger front porch, made it a little bit more livable. We pull out this covering. We do have this kind of fake, so the second floor is lofted. So like this balcony is totally just decorative. I'm gonna pull it in the middle there from the edges. And then I do add, I don't know what you guys think about this. You can tell me about this. I add these like bay windows, and I like how they look up on the loft. I add them on both ends. And I don't know if it was just me being frustrated with the lack of like interesting windows in base game, so I just kind of decided to go with these. They don't really make, like you wouldn't put, I recognize you would not put a bay window especially on the front loft. That is lofted. There's no access to it. But I like the way they look, so I keep them. They kind of don't make sense, but they work. It's The Sims. It doesn't have to make sense. You'll see I have a recycler back here. Like I said, I have a family here, but I pulled out all their non-base game items. So this is 100% base game. You don't need a single pack. You can just, if you have the base game, you can download this and play with it because the base game has ladders. So you can see I'm pulling out some other things here that were non-base game. But everything in this, when you go to download it from the gallery, is just base game. You do also get, because my sim who lives here is a gardener, and like I didn't add much to the footprint of this house because this is a tiny teensy lot, and I wanted to keep the gardening space because she is a gardener. She needs the space to grow her produce for her stuff. So we've pretty much finished up the outside. We do go back and landscape later, but we're moving on to the inside, which we do this so the inside is this very open concept plan. The kitchen's kind of already like marked out there where the cabinets are going to be. You come in, you have the entryway, and you have your living area, and then you have the kitchen, and we're gonna have the master bedroom and the bathroom back behind there. So right now we're working on the living area, which I actually feel like ended up being, for as tiny as this lot is and as tiny as this house is, like this is actually like a nice living room. Like we got like the love seat and the couch in here. Like you have plenty of space, especially considering this house started out with like it's the same love seat, honestly, in a different swatch, but like one of these love seats, and it did come with a TV. I will give them that. But I feel like we came up with a nice, like, this living area feels pretty like nice to me. I did like how it turned out. I did put in these shelves, which I wanted this open. I wanted the open shelves. It was kind of the vision I had for this space. Like you have this open concept, you have these open shelves, you have a small space, you want easy access to everything. The downside being, I was trying to do this in a budget. I was trying to do a base game only, and clutter is expensive in The Sims. You will see here, I make this little chest ottoman. That ottoman's like a coffee table, or the chest is a coffee table, so that's not functional, but I thought it was cute. We already have lots of seating. So I mostly use books here for that reason I was talking about, where this is almost entirely just books for clutter because the books are cheaper. And I was trying to stay within that budget. So, and I feel like the shelves are a little less cluttered than I would. If I was just building without any budget, I feel like I would have gone back and like added in a little more variety here, but I was trying to keep this within a budget. So there's kind of this feel. I feel like this is, especially for someone who's not a builder, you're just downloading builds for gameplay, or you want to have kind of a house that you can start and make your own. I feel like this is a good one to have for that, because it is a little less furnished than, say, like the other family game house I made. So here we're working on our loft upstairs. I did realize that like this lighting was on the wrong level, so we move it up. And finally, when I went back and I don't know why I didn't think about this. I really like this idea of this like statement chandelier. You have this lofted area, but you have like a big light fixture, but I didn't think to scale it up. When I go back in and take the screenshots, I finally think to do that. So you will see in the final screenshots, I do scale it up, but I don't do it anywhere in the building, which is really nice. I like how that turned out. But we split up the space. So you come in, you have the open concept, and then you go back, in your back here, you have the bathroom and the master bedroom, and kind of an extra utility area that, to save on money, is not furnished in this build. I left it unfurnished. I really probably am gonna go back and put the stuff from Laundry Day in there and make it kind of a like linen utility area, and maybe like a skill area. I think you might be able to fit in some of the smaller skill items back there. But for the purposes of this build, it is basically just this kind of, it almost is weird, but I wanted a back exit because it's a small house, sure, but I like the idea of them having a back door. I feel like it's weird to have a house that doesn't have a back door, especially when they have the fishing spot back there. So part of that was to access that. But we're in the kitchen, and so here we have the open shelves again. We have, instead of a dining area, we kind of bring that into the kitchen. We have the dining at the island. So they have plenty of food prep space. They can dine at the island. And I did test that worked fine. I do, when I go into clutter these shelves, I tried to use a bunch of items from Debug, which is great, except a lot of those don't transfer through the gallery. So if you do download this and you want to have exactly the same clutter, you're going to have to go into the debug menu, and you're going to have to find like the plates and the, like these items here right now are all just base game items. They'll come through in the gallery fine, but I add like some bowls and a pan later, and all those are live. I believe those are actually, I can't remember, they're just in the show hidden objects or the live edit objects, but most of them won't transfer through the gallery, and even if they did, they'll go bad. So you're just gonna have to, like, this mixing bowl is from Debug, and to get to those, you do type in the bb.show hidden objects, and then there's more if you do bb.show live edit objects, though I think most of these are just in show hidden objects. So like those bowls, the mixing bowl, the pan don't transfer through the galleries, so you won't see those if you download this build. I did realize also when I went in that those flowers sitting there are from Dine Out, I believe, so they get subbed out for some base game flowers later. And I went back and I added like a few, I couldn't help myself when I was taking screenshots. This ends up with like a few extra plants and clutter, because it just felt a little too empty. So when I go back and to do screenshots, I do add some a few extra clutter items, like nothing big changes. Most of them is mostly me moving things around to just fit in a couple more clutter items. So back here I'm working out how we're going to do this master bedroom. It's not like the biggest bedroom, but it's not tiny either. Like we end up with room for a dresser, and you can even move it around if you wanted to put a vanity in there. You decide later to like move the bedroom upstairs, you could put the two kids in there and you'd have that. And so then we have this like back hall utility area I was telling you about, where we have the entrance to the bedroom and the entrance to the bathroom is out there. I thought about leaving it open, but I just felt like it looked weird, so we do just completely close off this back area. And like I said, there's nothing in this utility area. The idea being that you could either adapt it for a skill, or use, if you have laundry day, you can put laundry back there, whatever you want to do with it. But I'm gonna put the laundry stuff back there, but I wanted to keep this base game, and so I wanted to leave it open to you guys. In the bedroom, I really fell in love with this antique looking dresser. It kind of doesn't, like the rest of the build is fairly leaning towards that modern side, or almost kind of, I don't know, it's almost like this, it's mostly modern, but I already had this mission bed. I like this bed. It's one of my favorite beds from base game. I like the green duvet, and then I felt like this brown dresser is not one I would normally go for, but I just like the idea of it. I liked of it being like, I don't know, like that hand-me-down piece that you have from family that you kind of hang on to, that maybe has some extra sentimental meaning. I don't know, I liked it. And then we add in here, like this ends up being kind of our tropical bedroom. We have this statement floral wallpaper, and we put up this big tropical view and add in some plants, and I really liked how this turned out. Like the colors are a little different, but I think this is the fun of doing like a base game only build, is I don't think this is the bedroom I ever would have made. Like I'm gonna naturally go for like the eco lifestyle. Like there's a reason I bought eco lifestyle so early, is because I really like that style. So it's fun to like only like, I'm sure it's frustrating if you're someone who only has base game and you see all these other options all the time, but there's a lot that can be done with just the base game, especially with all the updates we've added. We've got ladders, so we can do this loft up here. But I think it's kind of, there's some fun in stretching your creativity and figuring out what you can do, finding things you wouldn't use, figuring out I don't know, how to make new combinations and making work with less. I enjoyed that part. Up here ends up pretty minimally furnished, and it's because I was running out of money. Like, I had this strict budget in mind for the family, because like I said, I'm saving up for them to buy a bakery soon. And so I kind of got to the point where I was like, I can't spend any more money. So that study upstairs is very minimally furnished. It's almost just like, hey, here's an idea. And then I ran out of money. So feel free to add your own personal touch up there, but it will hopefully keep the house. The house still isn't that affordable. It comes out to like 46,000 simoleons, but it's definitely not. It's not a starter, but it's not as expensive as some of them. So, and I was trying to, like I said, I had my own budget I was working from. Here we're doing the landscaping, which there was like just grass out here. So any landscaping was a huge improvement. I was trying to I actually ended up putting in more than I meant to, because like I said, the sim actually gardens, my female sim who lives here. And so I didn't want to take up a bunch of space, but I kind of just fell in love with those bushes and took up a pretty big chunk of space. And then up here in the front, knew from the beginning I wanted to put some like flower bushes in the front to give it some of that curb appeal, make it look nice. You'll see at this point that we have lightened up the front. Actually, I think you can see that I've left a bit of the old color here, which I will fix. But that we've gone to this lighter color, which still gives you that high contrast. Like, we've changed the door to white, but it's not nearly as dramatic. We add these hanging planters, which again come from Debug. Almost all these plants are Debug, because I had pretty much run out of money at this point. And then we put in these cute little window planters up here. And that is going to be pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe or leave a comment down. Hit subscribe if you enjoy it. It helps me a lot. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you'd like to see in the future. And thanks for watching. Have a good one.